The shocking reason why Tuddy was worse than Goodfellas showed. Tuddy wasn't just underestimated. He was one of the most dangerous men in the entire crew.
You know this kid? Answer.
Yeah.
You know where he lives?
Yeah.
Deliver mail to his house? Answer.
Yeah.
In Goodfellas, he looks harmless, almost forgettable, a background figure you don't question.
From now on, any letter from that school to that kid's house comes directly here. You understand?
Yeah.
But in real life, he was the kind of man you never saw coming, until it was already too late. Because while everyone was focused on the loud ones, the violent ones, the unpredictable ones, Tuddy stayed quiet, and that made him far more dangerous. He didn't need attention. He didn't need to prove anything. He didn't need to dominate a room. He just watched. He listened, and when he moved, it mattered. That's what made him different. The character of Tuddy Cicero is based on Vito Vario, the younger brother of Paul Vario. And while the movie makes it seem like Paul was always the one in charge, the reality is very different. Because when Paul wasn't around, Tuddy wasn't just helping out. He was running everything.
Paulie didn't talk to 6 people. If there was a union problem or, say, a beef in the numbers, then only the top guys can meet with Paulie to discuss the problem.
From 1976 to 1980, he acted as the capo of the entire crew, not a placeholder, not a temporary stand-in. He was fully in control.
Wise guys would pull up and Tuddy would toss me their keys and let me park their Cadillacs. I mean, here I am, this little kid, I can't even see over the steering wheel.
Money moved constantly through loan sharking, hijacking, extortion, and gambling. Millions of dollars flowed through the operation, controlled by a man the movie barely pays attention to.
There were guys, that's all they did. All day long was take care of Paulie's phone calls.
And all of it was under the control of a man the film shows arguing over a dirty apron.
Hand that in this joint.
I remember feeling bad about the guy, but I also remember feeling that maybe Tuddy was right.
That's not just a simplification, that's a complete misrepresentation of who he actually was, because Tuddy wasn't just part of the system.
I knew Paulie didn't want anybody dying in the building.
You're a real jerk. You wasted 8 f***ing aprons on this guy. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. I gotta toughen this kid up.
He understood it, and more importantly, he knew how to shape the people inside it. Because Tuddy didn't just run operations, he built people. When Henry Hill was just 11 years old,
Before I first wandered into the cab stand for an after-school job, I knew I wanted to be a part of them.
he stood across the street watching the cars, the suits, the respect. And one day, he walked in.
Tuddy Cicero.
This Peter Canasi kid.
My fate is up.
The cab stand, the center of everything, the place where decisions were made and loyalty was tested.
Tuddy.
Make it, Tuddy.
Tuddy ran the cab stand and La Bella Vista Pizzeria and a few other places for his brother Paul, who was the boss over everybody in the neighborhood.
Tuddy saw him and pulled him in. He gave him small jobs, errands, responsibility, and just like that, Henry was inside, not because of Paul, not because of the crew, because of Tuddy. Everything Henry became started with him, and that wasn't random, that wasn't luck. That was all design, because Tuddy understood something very few people do. Control doesn't come from fear, it comes from dependency. There's a story from when Henry was 16. He got arrested, interrogated, pressured.
People looked at me differently, and they knew I was with somebody.
He didn't talk. You'd expect respect, gratitude, even recognition. He got nothing.
At 13, I was making more money than most of the grown-ups in the neighborhood. I mean, I had more money than I could spend. I had it all.
Tuddy had the lawyer fix it and acted like it never happened. No praise, no reward, no acknowledgement, because that's how control works. You don't reward loyalty, you make people chase it. And Tuddy understood that perfectly, but then there's the moment that shows just how calculated he really was. When Henry's father tried to stop him, Tuddy didn't confront him. He didn't argue. He didn't threaten. He went after the mailman.
The guy.
Get him.
No. Excuse me.
Yeah?
Because cutting off the information was smarter than confronting the source.
You know this kid?
Yeah.
You know where he lives?
Yeah.
Deliver mail to his house? Answer.
Yeah.
That's not emotion, that's strategy. That's a man who thinks several steps ahead every single time.
Well, from now on, any letter from that school to that kid's house comes directly here. You understand?
Yeah.
If another letter from that school goes to that kid's house, you're gonna go ahead first.
And it gets worse, because while the film makes him look like a background figure, he was deeply involved in one of the biggest criminal operations of the time. JFK Airport. Cargo theft, extortion, inside connections, entire shipments disappearing without a trace. Everything moved through that system. Henry Hill once said it was like their personal bank, and Tuddy was one of the men making sure that bank stayed open. But here's where everything comes together.
I can't make any more deliveries.
What do you mean you can't make any more deliveries? You're gonna everything up.
My dad said he's gonna kill me. Look.
Come on with me.
Tommy DeSimone. The moment everyone remembers. In the movie, it feels sudden. Tuddy drives him to what Tommy believes is the biggest moment of his life, a made man ceremony. He walks in, and then he's gone.
Oh no.
But what the movie doesn't show you is what that moment really means. This wasn't chaos. This wasn't emotion. This was precision. Tuddy didn't hesitate. He didn't question it. He drove a man he knew, a man who trusted him, to his death, and ended it without emotion, no anger, no hesitation, no doubt, just control.
It was revenge for Billy Bats. And a lot of other things.
And that's what made him different, because while everyone else was loud, reckless, and unpredictable,
And that's that.
And there was nothing that we could do about it. Bats was a made man and Tommy wasn't.
Tuddy stayed calm, and calm men in that world are the most dangerous of all. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. After everything, he walked away. No prison, no conviction, no consequences. Jimmy Burke died in prison. Paul Vario died in prison. Tommy was executed. Henry Hill spent his life looking over his shoulder. But Tuddy, he went home every night, lived his life, and died in his own bed because he understood something most people never will. The real power is not being the loudest man in the room. It's being the one no one suspects. Because by the time people realize who you are, it's already too late.